So Robbie, great to catch up with you before I presume you switch your phone off for the summer before we return in July. Some big news obviously came out on Saturday that we've announced the signing of Isaac Buckley-Ricketts from Curtin Ashton, a player that's been on your radar for a long time, isn't it?
Yeah, Isaac was one I wanted last summer. Him and JJ. JJ come and it was brilliant for us last season. But to get Isaac, I've got to thank my board, Rob especially, for allowing us to bring a player of his talent and his creativity, his pace, and how he is as a character was vitally important. When I met him, knowing that he'll fit in the dressing room really, really well. So again, the acquisition is brilliant. He'll add creativity and assists and goals to already what is an unbelievable forward line with so much dynamism in the side, and that's one thing I wanted to do in the league above. I know when I've watched the teams, it's about second balls, it's about defending balls into the box, but I think the way we play, especially at home, our pace can really hurt teams. So again, if I wanted to go more physical, I would have to probably adapted the whole squad, but I didn't want to do that because I have a belief in the way we play, although we can adapt. Delighted with him. Glad he's joined the journey, for an undisclosed fee. But it just goes to show the ambition of this football club. That's 18 players in the squad for next season. There'll be no more transfer business for us. We're really happy. Retention sometimes in football is really difficult to do, but to retain as many players as we have, deservedly so, to give them the first opportunity to play in the National League North. So we're absolutely delighted. It's going to be a test. It's going to be a test for me. It's going to be a test for some of our players who haven't played at that level. So again, we're absolutely delighted with the squad. You say switch off. You never switch off as a manager, Ben. But again, I'll have a nice break with my family, rest, recover. And what's going to be ahead of what's going to be, a season with more games, long journeys, but something that we're going to embrace.
You've highlighted the retention, obviously having 18 players signed up for next season. Obviously gives us a really, really strong core going into, as you alluded to, a really tough league next season.
Yeah, it is. It's a real tough league. Some huge football clubs. Watch the playoff final. Scunthorpe, getting out of the league. Fylde coming down. There's some, big football clubs there. And when we take to the field next year against some clubs, it'll be like a League Two game. So again, brilliant to see Macclesfield back up, in the National League system. And it's important that we hit the ground running. And that's why, when you look at the pre-season schedule, it's not been, put together without thought. It's been meticulous in the way we've, put it together in terms of what we want from pre-season. So we start with Mansfield. Nigel Clough, my old manager, is bringing his first team here. That's going to be a real tough start. Then we go to Newcastle Town, and one thing you do as as somebody who's been involved in football for so long, you give back to people who give to you. Neil Baker was unbelievable with me at Crewe. So I said, we'll take, our team there to Newcastle Town. The pitch is good. He's a great guy, and I owe him so much in my footballing career. So, we're looking forward to that. Halifax Town, again, got to the playoffs, missed out. Manchester United behind closed doors is a brilliant one. We'll be going to Carrington. My relationship with Nick Cox at Manchester United, who done so well with my son Charlie. We're in a position now as this football club to loan players from big football clubs in the National League system. So I think it's an opportunity for Manchester United to see what we're all about. It will be an under-21 game, and that's why it's behind closed doors. Manchester United facilitating it. I think they want to have a look at us as well to see, if the environment that their young players might be coming into. If they do loan us players, listen, nothing's agreed yet, but it's an opportunity for both parties to have a look at each other. So that's, I can't thank Manchester United and Nick Cox enough. That's going to be a great occasion for our players. We've got two Welsh teams, TNS, who've done so well in Europe, Connors Quay. And then we finished with a Derby County 11. So again, all teams will offer something different. But the one thing I've noticed in the league above is, in the playoff final, Scunthorpe, who I believe, I might be wrong, were full-time in extra time, they just had a little bit more energy. So I think energy, dynamism, for us will be the way we go about it. We're not a physical side, and second balls are going to be key, and set pieces as always. But I just think that playing against every team, except for Newcastle Town, who are full time, that'll get our fitness levels better. We've got a great program already, and for me, being fit, being strong, being dynamic will be the difference for us next year. And we will concede goals from set pieces. We will concede goals from second balls. But I think I'm going to be positive in the way we go about stuff. And in pre-season, Ben, we'll play with 3 or 4 different formations. You probably won't see the same team, probably with the exception of the last couple of games. Give everybody an opportunity. We've got such a small squad. Some of the young players will be coming in as well to contribute. So again, it's important for us and the management team that we can adapt in games, which we showed last season. I think it's even more important in the league above. So we're ready, and we can't wait.
And I suppose the benefit with pre-season, as you mentioned, is it allows to mix the squad up and, think of new formations, new ideas. And as you've alluded to, we've got the perfect schedule to be able to do that, haven't we?
Yeah, there'll be different players for different games, and that'll go into the season as well. Listen, we can play a back 3, we can play a back 4, we can play a back 5, we can do various things, because what we've got in the top end of the pitch is so much creativity, pace and dynamism, and goals. And, my job for my management team is how do we get the best out of those creative players? We've got so much pace in full-back areas. And at times you're going to have to be resolute and defend, so we can go with a back 3. And that's why, we've re-signed Sam, who's going to be brilliant for us this season. Can play as a 9, or play as a centre-half. Tom Clare, again. So there'll be times in games when if you need to go 2 up and launch the ball into the box with 15 minutes to go, you've got Big Sam and Tom, and Sam will start lots of games as well. So again, we're in a great position as a football club. We can see how excited I am. All the hard work it took everybody to get there. It's going to be the same next year. Already people are looking forward to playing us. And as I've said, I think watching the league, understanding the league, I've already watched about 30 or 40 games back from last season of teams. Obviously there's been managerial changes, there'll be players in and out. But I know what it's going to take to get in those playoffs. And that's the belief, that's the aim. And I believe we've got a squad to do that.
Roll on the National League North, eh?
Yeah, listen, Ben, it's brilliant. It's brilliant National League system. It's going to be tough, undoubtedly tough, and we're going to need all the fan support. It's great for them. There's going to be long journeys, late nights, and that's why as well, Ben, in pre-season we've got 5 games at home, because there's going to be lots of travel at the start of next season and throughout the course of the season. We need as many fans to support the group as we can in league games and cup games. So we wanted to put 5 games on here at home. That brings in revenue to the football club also. But as you've seen, 1,546 season tickets sold already. I think we sold 1,660 last year. There's still a couple of months to go. I know the standing season tickets, I think we probably sold 300 or 400 of them towards the end of pre-season. If we can do that, we should be needing 2,000 season tickets for this football club, which, speaking to Bob Trafford, I'm not sure if that will be a record number of season tickets sold, even when they were in the league. But that just goes to show the buzz, the anticipation, the excitement that we have going into next season. But I'm delighted. I've got a wonderful board who back me. So again, we're excited. We're looking forward to it. Great acquisition in Isaac. But that's it. Maybe, Ben, a few people would have wanted to go away in pre-season, to watch us. But I just thought, 5 games here, 2 away, the revenue for us, here in pre-season can really, really help, really help. So again, we're excited, can't wait, some great games. Roll on the National League North. My phone won't be going off, Ben, it'll still be on, because I know, it's a time when you can switch off to a point, but as a manager, you can never switch off. So looking forward to it, and we can't wait.
Thanks.